kiss, kiss ass.
What? Shake, 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 shake it. What?
Kiss ass.
What?
Shake it.
What?
Kiss ass.
What? Shake, shake, shake it. What?
Kiss ass.
Contamination taking hold. Burn it down, gonna burn it down. Ain't nobody gonna stop me now. I'm gonna burn it down, burn it down. Watch it burn down to the ground. I'm gonna burn it down, burn it down. Ain't nobody gonna stop me now. I'm gonna burn it down, burn it down. Watch it burn down to the ground.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Wednesday. I'm not going to go through and say individual hellos because I want to get this out. I had to be held back from the live button yesterday. I'm glad that those who held me back from it because it wouldn't have come out as gracious as this is about to. All right. So let's get into it. For those of you who have no clue what I'm about to talk about, congratulations. And you'll catch up in about the next 48 hours and then we can chat. No problems. For those of you who are already here and I've already had an exhausting morning this morning, being in other places, I get it completely. My first disclaimer is there is never going to be a day on this earth where I think that racism, is ever going to be acceptable. It is never going to be fact-based. And anybody, and I do mean anybody, who stands by and says that that is okay can go all the way. You can unsub from me. You cannot be my friend anymore. You can kick me out of your Discord. Don't email me. Don't text message me. Don't nothing. There is never going to be a day where I am okay with those behaviors. I wanted so bad. I walked into that live stream this morning hoping and praying that this was somebody who was so uneducated and ignorant before that just woke up one day, had some type of epiphany experience, and decided that that's not who they are anymore. And they found some love to put in their black little hearts. Okay. But it turns out that's not the case. They stand by what they did, what they said, and the shit that they covered. Now, I don't agree with the other thing I don't agree with is I don't agree with other people held accountable. A lot of you may not know. Right? I'm going to be honest. For months, people have come and said, have you seen this? Right? They only said the name. I know somebody who went to them in private, went to her in private and said, is this you? Like, this is out there. What's going on? That's not me. Complete denial. And we moved on from there. They said we trusted. The amount of disappointment that so many people feel in this community right now is astounding. And when you stood next to, sat next to, were on panel with, commented with, encouraged, we share subs, we do all those things with you. Unfortunately, we believe that you're like us, that you want to do right by families of victims. And it turns out you were a tragedy pimp. And I don't even know if you still aren't, because who knows if you have another blog out there under a different name that you're doing the shit under. Nobody fucking knows at this point. It's terrible. It is fucking gross. I spent last night going through the blog. And if you have not done your own research, please do not take my opinion as your own. That is not what I'm asking you to do, nor do I want you to do it. I am encouraging every single person, before you go out and you defend anybody's actions, before you go out and you say, well, I don't think we should be doing this because they've been a really nice person to me, go do your own research. It literally made me ill, physically ill, to read some of the stuff on the website that I seen. And she stood by that today. saying that it was fact based. Fuck you disrespectfully. Never, never will I ever. You could go 10 years back, 20 years back, 30 years back, 40 years back, and never, ever, ever have I ever stood by racist, stereotyping comments. We all have our prejudices, so I'm not going to say that. Lisa said it best earlier. She's prejudiced against stupid people. So am I. We all have our prejudices, and I'm not judging that. What I'm judging is your actions. And with all the hope in my heart, this morning I went into that chat hoping that you would absolutely be like, look, that's some old shit I did 10 years ago. I'm not that same person. I hope you guys would know that. I that's not my experience with you right now. But now as I'm looking back, all these things are like, fuck, did I ignore these red flags? Why is it that I absolutely continue to not see people for who they are when they're showing me right in front of my fucking face? And then you feel like a fucking idiot. You feel like you've been lied to. You feel like you've been supportive of this person and you speak well of this person because they have the same character and morals and authority, or not authority, integrity that you do. And lo and behold, the mask fucking falls off and you are the same fucking person that you were 10 years ago. That is absolutely fucking horrid. To deny who you were, who you are. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe every creator 100% deserves to have their anonymity. But when who you are is connected to some fuck shit, how are you a tragedy pimp calling out fucking tragedy pimps? Make that make sense. And when you go through that website, for those of you who choose to do your own research, when you go through that fucking website, I want you to notice that every fucking blog post is it about an African American child who died by some type of violence, or, well, we'll just say they died, period, right? And every single one of them blames the parents, says the parents aren't acting the right way, says that the kids were in gangs. So what did you think was going to happen? Said every single fucking article except for one. You know what the one fucking article is? The one fucking article about a blonde haired, blue eyed white girl. Oh, that article is, oh, this lady tragically lost her life while out on the night on the town with her friends, and her family needs support. And if you can donate, hit the button up top on the right hand side. Bitch, please. Your mask has fallen. I have absolutely no regards for it. I do not agree with anybody else being blamed for this, because a lot of us, and I do mean a lot of us, have spent the last 48 fucking hours going through a lot of emotions, a lot of disappointment, a lot of frustration. We've been lied to for 48 hours. Like, we have gone through a lot of shit in 48 hours. And I promise you, I don't speak on something unless I have seen it for myself. I have literally tried so hard. First couple of articles come out. Nah, that's from JLR. I'm not paying no fucking mind to that shit, cuz we all know how he gets down. No problems. Moving right along. Kept going from there. Didn't think nothing about it. Then the Circle Jerks video came out and I was like, "Wait a second now. They're onto something. I need to actually look at this. I need to pay attention to this. I need to start looking at this." So some people, and I'm not naming any names, some people are so focused on, but that's not who I know her to be right now. You're right. Right. But have you been fooled before? Because I think a couple of people have fooled us in the past. So, I mean, I've only been here a year, and I know for sure, no shade at all, with all the shade, Flavor fooled the fuck out of me a long time ago. And I've been on live stream after live stream during that time, getting fooled over and over and over while she lied to our faces, and then turned around later on and figured out, fuck, she lied to us. Fuck it. Let's wash our hands. You go do you on your channel. I'm going to stay over here. We're going to be all good, right? But this right here, this hits different. This isn't you just told a lie. You continue to lie over and over and over. You tragedy pimped against victims of families. I mean, families of victims, excuse me. You absolutely chose to attack people of color's families during their darkest times. And while I held out hope that you would say, nah, that's not me anymore, today you said everything I said was not opinions. It was an opinion based on facts. Fuck you all the way to Tuesday next week. Absolutely not. Again, never going to be a day where I can get down with racist things said, racist things done. And there's a lot of people who are like, "Well, that's just her opinion. I'm not sure if you should really feel that way because she was just giving her opinion." Okay, well fuck her and her opinion then. Because as a mother of kids who are people of color, my kids don't get to live in the same world while you get to have opinions and shit. It's just not okay. And anybody, and I do mean anybody who decides to defend these actions, I can guarantee you're going to see the deuces from me. You're going to absolutely see the deuces from me because I cannot stand by this. It's so beyond disappointing. It makes you feel like, you we're all kind of in this community together. We all kind of share subs from here and there, whatever, right? But you feel like in a community, right? In a community, in air quotes, that you all are like minded, open thinkers, independent thinkers. You're able to look outside of the box. And I'm a pretty fair person. I've tried for 48 hours to, to try to not see what was right in my face. And I tried so hard to deny that this was the truth. Shout out to Chronicles of the Shady. The video that they did yesterday put the nail in the coffin for me. Not only did they link it so that people could see the clip, but they turned around and they gave you the clip to the live stream so you could go watch the full online, not just a clip of it, the full on live stream. I seen somebody today. Well, we all know what AI technology can do. Maybe they clipped it. Maybe they changed the sound of her voice to it. No, ma'am. It is a live stream, and the clip of it is in their description of their video. Chronicles of the Shady did that shit. I'm absolutely like I think that's amazing. I feel terrible for the people who called her friend. I have not called her a friend. I just have been cool with her in the community. I didn't have a problem with her up to this point. So that's not where this is coming from. But I do feel bad for those who called her a friend. For those who truly are hurt and disappointed today, I'm sorry that this has happened to you. I truly am sorry. The subs have been lost. Creators have been lost. How can a creator come out here and speak on something when they don't even know how they themselves feel? It's terrible. It's so terrible. And I don't care what anybody says. That shit is foul. Hiding videos, sarcastic remarks, standing by what you did. That's not the way to handle it. Let me tell you. If anything comes up from your past, I'm gonna give this suggestion to everybody. I don't have shit like that. Well, why do you hide your name? Because people on the fucking internet are crazy and they like to call jobs and call CPS and shit like that. It's not that serious to me. This is a fucking hobby that I happen to get on live every now and then, give my fucking opinions about shit. That's why it's not that serious to me. However, there's a lot of people who are hurt today, and that hurts me. Those people who are hurting are my friends. Some of them are my friends, and that makes me sad for them. But you know what makes me sadder is the fact that these families have had to fight against a woman who thought it was her absolute fucking right to harass the fuck out of them. And if it was a Betty, if it was a Molly, if it was a Laura, if it was a Dolly, y'all would have never even fucking stopped to question that information. Y'all would have snatched that shit up and ran the fuck away from it. It's sad. I mean, it is what it is, but it's sad. It's sad. A lot of people take this YouTube shit so serious. So blank screen, here's my thing. I don't feel like I take YouTube seriously. I do take people's racism seriously. I do take the fact that there are victims of families going through tragedies and they have to deal with the harassment that comes from YouTube. That I take seriously. After that, it pretty much ends for me. Talking shit about each other. You said this. No, you said this. No, you lied about this. That shit, I don't take that shit seriously. That's just that. To me, that's the entertainment. That's the drama side of it. I don't really care about that. I don't care about that at all. Yeah, it is 8675309. I always want to sing it, so I have to stop myself. The blog is disgusting. It is, and the fact that this morning she stand by it, that is just man. Mm, 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 mm. I can't. And to me, somebody in the chat was like, "Well, why do you guys feel like she owes you an apology?" I don't feel like she owes me shit. She doesn't owe me at this point. She doesn't owe me shit. She doesn't owe me an explanation. She doesn't owe me a hello, goodbye, a fuck you. Like she doesn't owe me shit. She owes that family something. But you know, she's standing on it, so we already know that's not going to happen. BGB, yes. So yes and no. She won't say that it's her, but she'll speak to the contents of the blog. So there's that. Absolutely not. As she definitely does owe the family an apology. So that's what I came on to say. I felt like I wanted to hit the live stream button last night, but I was like, I feel like I need to hear from her. I feel like, people do change. They absolutely they do change. And I think everybody in the chat would say it. Who you are today, is that who you were 10 years ago? 5 years ago, 15, 20 years ago? Cuz I would say I'm not the same person today that I was 5 years ago. Hell, I'm not even the same person I was 3 years ago. As people, we should be evolving to try and be the best version of ourselves at all times. So absolutely, 100%, like I'm not the same person, so I can give you credit for that. But today, you said, you stood on it. You stand by what you did. You stand by that content that's out there. You stand by the words that you said, and that is why I can't get down with it anymore. I'm good. I'm good. I don't, obviously, I'm not a fan of, like I don't, this is not meant to go harass or threaten or anything like that. That is not what this is for. We can use our words like big kids, like adults, but I don't stand with that. I never will. There you won't get me to. Mm-mm. Right. I'm not the same person today as I was yesterday. Exactly, Melanie. Exactly. Yeah. That's all she had to say, but wouldn't respond to it. Well, not all she would have to say, but yeah, exactly. No one can judge a past, but being racist is another thing. And then doubling down on it is another thing. She doubled down. She did. Can someone tell me where this went down today? On Deets, Deets on the streets. She had a panel about it today, and the chat was, whew, I think the live stream is actually still going, but they're talking about the whole TM and chasing thing right now. So I just decided to hop on real quick, but yeah, yeah, no, for real though. And I'm asking honestly, do you think a racist can become unracist? It's not like you were kind of an asshole and changed. That's deep rooted. So here's the thing, true crime dime. I know people who lacked education, lacked experience. They grew up in this small town, and this is what they were taught. And when they started to um, meet people of color, get to know people of color, ask questions of what they were told before and versus what they knew now. Um, yeah, they did. Their eyes were open. They became educated in the fact that like people are people after all. And so yeah, I do believe that that is possible. I do believe that, but um, yeah, but unfortunately, it doesn't appear that that's going to happen. So there's that. Yeah. Oh, I don't, Jersey, I appreciate it, but I don't need a sorry. For me, I'm disappointed, yes, but I feel bad for the people who are actually hurting today, that were friends, that were standing by her, that they've been her friends, like real life friends, and they were lied to. They absolutely were lied to for the last 48 hours, 1 week, 2 weeks, however long it's been. I don't know, because I don't know those people like that. But yeah. Thank you, Grandma Sherry, for dropping those links. Thank you, Miss Leah, for dropping the links. I've never had that experience, so thank you for sharing. Anyone I've met that's racist is still racist today. They might hide it a bit better, but to be PC, but deep down it's still there. Yeah, I can only say, oh, it's all good, KB. Yeah, I that's the one thing that like really is. I get wanting to give somebody. I don't know what it is that could be said at this point that would change my mind. Like, I feel like I we did hear her talk today in the chat. She was adamant about what her thoughts are. I don't know that there's anything else I need to hear. Personally, I'm speaking for myself. I don't know that there's anything else that I need to hear. Um, so yeah. No, mellow one, because that's what I thought too. When it prior well, when the circle jerks came out, everybody was coming and saying, it's this, it's that. And every website I go to, I'm like, oh, that's JLR, that's JLR. Like, it's nothing. Like, I can ignore it. And then I started to look at some things, and started to look at some things, and started to look at some things, and I was like, oh, I can't deny this. I need to go through this. I need to find out for myself, because I don't want to be a part of condoning it. Now that you know, what will you do? Right? That's my thing right now. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you know now, but now what? Now what do you do? Right? There were a lot of people when Uni did his whole bullshit. There were a lot of people at that point that were disappointed in him, disappointed in the Uni fam, whatever the case may be. But now what do you do? Do you speak on it? Do you not speak on it? To me, not speaking on it isn't a good thing, but that's for me. I'm not applying that to anybody else. And really, people like Queen, who's in a lawsuit currently with this lady, can't speak on it. She's stuck. So even if she wants to come out and say, I didn't know this fuck shit was happening, she's stuck and can't even say that shit. That's terrible. So then you got people who are like, oh, she's so silent. She must agree with this. She's a racist too, Fuck no. But she can't. She can't even say anything. That's the hard part, is like, it's you want to believe that people have all the right intentions, and we come into this connecting and networking with other creators believing that they have the right intentions. But it is unfortunate that when the mask slips, those intentions are shown. And it's so, 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 so unfortunate. Yeah, true crime dime. The only thing is, I disagree. I think that there are still a lot of people who I've seen who are like, I love her. She hasn't done anything wrong. That was so long ago. Like, those were her opinions then. You guys should just let this go. You're blowing it up out of proportion. It's not even that bad. Everybody's just so emotional. I fucking hate hearing that. Everybody's just so emotional. Fuck yes, we're emotional. A family was attacked by a person who we thought was against attacking families, and they're standing by the shit. The fact that they attacked the families. Like, what are you missing? It's like, what? It's crazy. Let me go back. She has had no responsive note yet. Has been typing out word salad nonstop. I can't what that is. Typically, Hills is direct, and she has been nothing but the opposite since this has come out. Sassy, I don't disagree. Yeah. Queen Bee doesn't deserve that ish just because she holds an open panel. And Felony, that's what I actually wish that people would understand. Just because I go on Queen's panel does not mean that I speak for Queen. Queen speaks for me, right? We are two separate people, and she holds an open panel. And for those of you who may not understand, an open panel means anybody is welcome up. She's had a lot of people that the community have been outraged that she's led on to even speak, although they've been respectful on her panel. She doesn't know the history. She doesn't know that kind of stuff, right? Well, I know for sure I can name 3 times right now off the top of my head where I've seen people come up on the panel and people in the chat are like, "What the fuck are you doing? That person shouldn't be up there. They were ousted from this community a long time ago," and she's like, "Well, I don't know them. Like, they seem cool to me right here, right now. It doesn't mean that she agrees with the fuck shit that they've done at some point in time, no matter how crazy the fuck shit is. It just means she opens her home to everyone. And now what people are saying is, well, if you opened your home and let somebody in, that means they're your roommate. What? No, what? Huh? Nah, dog. No, that shit don't equate. That's why I say go and listen. Just Samantha, I need to because I somebody did tell me that last night, and I have not listened to that before, and I need to. There's that, and then there was another incident that they said somebody. I can't remember, but there's something else that was mentioned on the panel, and her reaction to it is like very clear, and I was like, oh damn, okay, all right, well. I was at first saying it was her past because I really expected her to put it right, and she says she's not like it now. Right. I was expecting that same thing, Nikki. I went into that live stream this morning expecting to get some clarity, some understanding, especially once I seen her in the chat. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch for her comments because I want to hear what she has to say. That is fair, right? Even though I don't feel like she deserves the fair at that point, but that is fair. That's who I am. So I'm like, okay, let me understand this. And then I'm watching the comments and I'm like, wait, wait 1 second. Wait, what? So you agree with all the fuck she what? Oh. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Queen is still ultimately responsible for the content she produces though. So here's the thing, Senator. I agree. She is responsible for the content that she produces. She did not produce that content. She did not produce those videos. Therefore, she is not responsible for that content. So if something happens on her panel that's like that, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Absolutely, she's responsible, and she's had a couple of incidences that have had to happen or that have happened, and she's come back the next day and said, "Look, last night got out of control. I'm sorry that happened, and I'm won't happen again," kind of a thing. So she has absolutely like owned it when it's been her content. This isn't her content though. In my opinion, it's dangerous to run an open panel if you're not on panel with them because you tend to miss shit when you walk away. B Fergs, I do agree with that. I also know that there are times where she will leave other people that she does trust. And again, what does that trust look like right now? That's what's hard. That's what's really hard right now because now it's like, fuck that. Like, I'm not trusting nobody on this panel, I'm sure. Because that's what I would be thinking if I was her. I'd be like, fuck that. I can't leave my panel. Y'all are listen, y'all about to get this 30-minute live every day. Fuck these 5-6 hour lives. You know what I mean? True Crime Time. I am not pulling it up because I'm about to end and go watch. I'm about to end and go watch it on I want to say Rabbit or Ickmel, one of the two was streaming it, and I already seen that. So you definitely went in being optimistic. You were letting everyone know you had an open mind about what you were listening to until she commented. Yeah. And actually, it was probably about 3 comments in. And when I asked her a question and she came back and gave that answer that basically her racism was based off facts, I was like, fuck no, I'm done. I jumped down because I was like, I'm not going to disrespect Deets in any way. That's not fair to her when she's just trying to, give everybody a space to speak. So I get that. Has anything to do with this mess, but like a nuisance bar, the owner gets held responsible for the goings on in his business. So, Sarah, the difference is to me is this is like a fight that happened outside of the bar. This is a fight that happened outside of the bar, right? And then once the fight was over, the guy came in and had a drink, right? Is the owner still responsible for the fight that happened outside of the bar? Because to me, they're not. And I'm not trying to point you out or anything. I'm just having a conversation. But yeah, that's my thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, with all this, who do you trust anymore? Shit, I'm side eyeing all of you bitches now. That's how it works. Just kidding, just kidding. I mean, not really, but you know what I mean. Yeah, time to decompress, just Samantha. I agree. I agree. Yeah. No, absolutely she wouldn't. And I know, like I know that she does not and would not stand by any of that fuck shit. If that happened on her panel, no fucking way. No fucking way would she ever stand for that. So yeah. Yeah, I just anyways, those are my thoughts and I want to jump off so I can join. I really want to watch what the press conference has to say. So I'm gonna go now. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Thanks for listening to me rant. Bye, y'all.